got a chance to do something special this year.
I'm here for one goal and one goal only, and that's to win a championship.
The way we're supposed to play.
Duncan, Ryan Smith back with you on Sports Center. As we need further proof of LeBron's lofty status in NBA history, he's already cemented his 6 different postseason with at least 500 points, 150 rebounds, and 150 assists. All other players have combined to accomplish that feat just once, and the one guy was Larry Legend back in '87. And LeBron motivates his teammates. Here's AD on a pregame text he got from the King.
They sent that message, and guys already knew. I mean, we felt bad after losing Game 3. We didn't play the way we were supposed to play. So guys were already on edge, coming into tonight. And then we see the message from, our leader saying it's a must-win, and he just left it at that. And guys knew coming in that we need to bring our A game. All season said we don't want to be a team that loses 2 in a row, and we have the ability to make that happen. And so we was already on.
While we'll play, Goran Dragic is a game-time decision. Wilbon, you first. Your thoughts?
This is about as good a news as the Miami Heat could get. I mean, game-time decision means there's still hope that Dragic will play. And for people who think, Dragic is sort of just a third wheel, Dragic is averaging 20 points a game in the playoffs. And getting Bam back is necessary. Look, Jimmy Butler may be able to do this again, but he's on lists where guys have done it once. We're sitting next to a person who had what I think is the greatest finals game ever.
42.
How many of those? But you can't ask somebody to come back and do it the very next time. Magic closed out a series with his.
Yes.
But Bam, they need productivity. If not prolific numbers, productivity, right, Irvin?
Right, because what he brings, last series he averaged 21 points and about 11 rebounds, right? So now the defense gets better with Miami Heat. Just think about this. In the first 2 games, the Lakers played more physical. They played better defense than Miami. Game 3, Miami Heat was more physical, and they played better defense. Now they're getting Bam back. That means their defense gets better, and they become a physical team.
Magic, let's stay right there with Bam. Because Bam is returning, what should we expect to see from Anthony Davis? Because in Game 3, without Bam Adebayo on the court, he seemed non-existent, basically. Now Bam's coming back. What's that going to do?
Well, Anthony Davis last game, in Game 3, he caught the ball on the wing so much they double-teamed him every single time. If I'm Anthony Davis, I'm going to try to get in the low post. And even if the double team comes, I can shoot over top of the double team. But Anthony Davis turned the ball over so much in the first quarter, the Lakers never got in rhythm. They never got in sync until the second half of the game. They turned it over 20 times. They took 42 threes. You can't do that. The Lakers are not a great shooting team. Now, they can hit them when they're rolling. Mm-hmm. So what I expect tonight is pump fake if you got an open 3 and drive it to the basket. Mm-hmm. And then don't turn the basketball over. And the King must control the tempo. Jimmy Butler controlled the tempo in Game 3.
I know you both, and I'm going to ask you this next question, sticking with the Lakers, Irvin Magic Johnson. On behalf of both Mike Wilbon and myself, I'm going to ask you this question. We're watching the Los Angeles Lakers right now in these NBA Finals, 2 victories away from a championship, 17th in franchise history. Somebody was the architect of this to some degree. He was the president of basketball operations. Before abruptly resigning. That would happen to be you. How are you feeling watching these Los Angeles Lakers? LeBron James is here, came here under your watch. We knew you were after Anthony Davis. That was his arrival was imminent. So this is what it's about. How are you feeling watching these guys right now? Because this is everything you had envisioned.
Well, Stephen A., I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good for Jeannie Buss, but also I'm feeling good for LeBron James. LeBron James said, yes, I'm going to come play for the Lakers. And he told me he's going to get the Lakers back to the NBA Finals and win a championship. Well, he's only 2 games away from doing that. Then when you think about Rob Pelinka, you got to give him credit. Danny Green signing him. He signed, when you think about, I'm trying to think about the forward. Making a trade for Anthony Davis, excuse me. And then signing Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard has played his best basketball since Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard. So you look at what Rob has done, you look at what LeBron has done to make the team better.
Vogel and the coaching staff.
And then I was going to give him credit next. Vogel, the defense, because the Lakers have won based on their defense and then getting out on the fast break and running with LeBron James at point guard. It's been amazing. And playing LeBron at point guard. Give Vogel some credit for that as well.
And while there's this obvious identification, on the other hand, if this was anybody else that the Miami Heat was playing, you'd be rooting for the Miami Heat, right?
And I
mean, Pat Riley, you know what is going on in that other side of that aisle, in that locker room, and during the day to prepare for these games with Pat Riley.
Yes, because he's like my best friend, so I would be cheering for the Miami Heat if they were playing somebody else. And think about all the storylines. LeBron playing against the Miami Heat, who he played for. Pat Riley, who coached the Lakers and played for the Lakers.
Y'all ain't got to worry about it. You know, I mean, you beat me to it because I'm going to bring up Pat Riley. I got Magic Johnson here. I'm going to bring up Pat Riley. Make no mistake about it. We got more to come. Stick around. Don't touch that dial, y'all. Still ahead. Don't miss.
Bring Wilbon and Magic back into the mix. Wilbon, you've heard what Rachel had to say. What are your expectations specifically from LeBron James for tonight's game?
We know listening to LeBron after any game, but particularly a loss, is informative, is educational. I mean, LeBron talked very specifically about what the team had to take from Game 3 and change yesterday in practice and tonight in Game 4. The passivity of Anthony Davis won't be tolerated. 15-5 can't have that. But LeBron started with himself. The 8 turnovers, as Rachel just mentioned. And hearing that, I expect this to perhaps be the best game of the playoffs, or one of the 2 or 3 best games the entire playoffs for the Lakers. Reminds me of a certain gentleman to my left. After losses, I mean, he was already looking to the next game and what was going to happen in practice the following day and the next game. And that it was like going back, I don't want to say it, Irvin, about 35 years to when. Am I drawing a reasonable comparison?
First of all, Wilbon, y'all can say that because even though y'all don't have any hair, y'all look very, very good with no hair, whereas I got the whole on the line.
I know.
I got the whole
fresh line today.
One day he's going to join us.
Exactly. Coming soon, ain't it?
Well, what I would say is this. You know, he's the leader. He's the best leader in all of sports, LeBron James. You know he's going to come out with a different mindset. I didn't see the tough-minded LeBron in Game 3. I saw Jimmy Butler have that attitude. I didn't see LeBron James have that attitude, but he will have it tonight.
Well, let me come to you for that, because on the other side, I know he's not playing, but he's the architect. He's the winner within. He's the man that coached you to championships, and he is the face of this franchise. That is Mr. Pat Riley. If anybody knows what LeBron is going to come with, it would be him. So what does Pat Riley say to the Miami Heat to prepare them for the onslaught that seems imminent from LeBron?
I think what Pat's going to say is, listen, we beat him at all facets of the game in Game 3. So let's come out with the same attitude, same mindset. Let's make sure we want to take one of the big 2 out, right? So they concentrated in Game 3 on Anthony Davis. They're going to come out with the same mindset. Every time he touches, we're going to double team him. Let's see if he knows how to respond to some hard, physical double teams. And it's not the Miami Heat who have to make the adjustments now. It's the Los Angeles Lakers who have to make the adjustments for Game 4. Anthony Davis, Coach Vogel got to help him. He's got to get it on the move. It can't be, I'm standing on the wing, they pass it to me. And that double team came so fast, he never got a good chance to respond to the double team, whether kick it back out, repost. He kept it and tried to throw it across court, turnover. I think tonight you're going to see both LeBron James and Anthony Davis get into their rhythm of the game and get into their game early and not turn the ball over.
Let me steal a line from that movie, Analyze This, with Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro. You're very good, you.
The impact he had in the city, those who was homeless, that was his passion. Also, how do we make it better for women's sports, for women athletes? That was his passion as well. And I want to just thank Jeannie Buss, because she's doing a wonderful job of keeping his memory going and keeping his legacy going. And the Laker players tonight got to have that Mamba mentality, because we saw Miami have it in Game 3, but they better have it for Game 4? Wilbon?
You know, the last time I was in Los Angeles was early March, and we were out here paying tribute to Kobe, not long, sadly, after the tragedy that took his life. And to come back and walk past Staples Center, and now it's empty. It's empty, the area is empty, and there's nothing there. And the first thing I thought when I got off the plane and came down here today was Kobe, and what it would be like down here around Staples Center in normal, in better times without this pandemic. And would we catch a glimpse of him and the girls perhaps courtside, and what that would mean to people being able to watch him. I'm just glad that this current generation of players, and it's not just Lakers, but obviously most importantly, these young Laker players have gotten to sort of feel what Kobe Bryant was all about during his time here.
And what I love about it is that they get to feel it like you just said, and you both articulated those thoughts eloquently. It's just that when you talk about a Mamba mentality, it's about finishing the job. How many times did we see Kobe in a press conference after they won a game and people are looking at him and saying, why aren't you smiling? What's the deal? You're ahead. You're winning. He said the job is not done. That's the kind of mentality the Lakers had better have, because Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat are.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, LeBron, I just want to ask you about KCP down the stretch there. You grabbed the rebound off Jimmy's miss, push in transition, see him in the corner. Just wonder, all the teammates you've had, you know which guys are going to be capable for those moments in the finals game. What you thought of that and his effort overall?
I think at the end of the day, if you're on the floor in crunch time, then I believe in you. Who's ever out on the floor with me, I believe can make plays. And tonight was a case in point of KCP. Guy who's stage ready, who works on his craft. And like you said, you know, that three in front of their bench was a huge three. And obviously the drive at the end of the shot clock was two big back-to-back plays, you know, in the fourth quarter where we needed to continue to score versus this team.
I think it was after game 2 that you made the comment that it's not just enough to win the game. You guys want to be great. This game was one where defensively you guys were great, and then there was a lot of sloppiness early offensively with the turnovers. I'm just wondering if there's a certain point, like, does there come a point where you stop striving for that winning in a great way, and it's just enough to get the wins? Or is that not until?
Well, it's two different things. It's kind of two different things, two different points you're making. You never stop striving to be perfect or be great. Not going to happen, but that don't mean you still don't strive to be as great as you can be every night. Now, you know, every game has its own, adjustments and things of that nature. And, tonight was one of those games where we had to win on the defensive end and make some timely shots. But I think when you start thinking like, okay, well, I can't be great tonight, or we can't be great tonight, okay, we just have to figure it out, then you sell yourself short. And for me personally, I would never do that as long as I lace them up and put on a uniform. But I love what we did tonight.
Allison?
LeBron, you guys took a 5-point lead to the fourth quarter and won the game, which made you, as a team, 56-0 this season, taking a lead into the fourth. What does that say about the makeup of your team, and do you take any pride in being on a team that can possess that stat?
Well, I think the fourth quarter obviously is winning time. You got 12 minutes to buckle down defensively with the lead, try to hold that lead, and then you have to execute offensively. And, obviously didn't know the stat, coming into tonight, but for us, that's just the mindset. We got 12 minutes. And if we have the lead, it's our job to outscore the opponent or hold them to less points as us, which is the same exact thing. And because if we win the quarter, we win the game. And that's kind of been our mindset all year long.
I know you talked about AD's great games and said that's who AD is, but in the last 2 days, from where he sort of told us after Game 3, he felt like it could have been more aggressive to the guy he was after hitting that shot with 39 seconds left, beating his chest. What did you see in sort of his just getting back to that place where he can be the player that he can be?
Well, I mean, he's a big shot maker in the shot clock, early in the shot clock, fourth quarter, first quarter, everything in between. And it was just a great setup by Doe. First, the possession before that, Doe was able to fake it like he was going back to him, carry himself into the lane, get a layup. And then, kind of the very next possession, he was able to, find him. And AD just kind of stared at the shot clock, knew it was late in the shot clock, and obviously trusted his shot that he works on consistently. So, big-time shot, big-time play for our team to be able to put the game away.
All right, Sam?
Ron, Spo just said over here that this game being tight back and forth the entire time, that it came down to moments of truth. You guys won more than they did at the end. But when AD hits that shot and you're doing the Ric Flair and screaming a little bit, is there a different kind of satisfaction when y'all are so tight all night long and then you have that kind of a breakthrough at that point?
Well, you kind of know momentum plays and momentum shots, depending on the score, the time, what's going on, within the last few possessions. They were going back and forth, with us, and we were going back and forth with them. Duncan Robinson hits one off the glass at the end of the shot clock for a three. Bam hits one off the glass and, right there before the – no, for me it doesn't matter. I can go every other day if that was the case be, but I'm going to take full advantage of it. It gives me an opportunity to continue to get my body right, my mind, and everything in between. So I'll take full advantage of it, but it does nothing for me besides just getting a little extra day. I guess it does. I guess it does do a little something, but it's not needed for me personally.
Chris?
Brian, when I believe it's like the third game of this series where you guys have called for a challenge in the first half. Today it was the right, you got it overturned, the right call. But when do you as a player feel like it's time to, do a challenge so early in the game? Like, when do you weigh the pros and cons of doing it so early?
There's certain momentum plays throughout the first half. A certain rhythm that you have, either offensively or defensively, that if that call is made correctly, then you continue to stay in that zone. You continue to stay in that rhythm. And if the call is wrong, it can throw you off of your rhythm. So we've wanted to challenge some things in the first half that we just felt like, okay, even if we were right, maybe that's not the time. We still got our rhythm. We're good, whatever the case may be. But we felt like in that particular moment, we were playing some really good basketball. We was defending at a high level. And we knew for sure, we knew 100%, because I was guarding the ball, I knew for sure I didn't touch the ball. Hero just he tried to float it over me, and it kind of hit the backboard and hit the wire. So, Coach is always kind of like, 50-50 about it. And obviously as a player on the floor, you hate to tell your coach to challenge and you're not 100%, but I was for sure 100% about that play.
Okay, we'll go to Jeff. Jeff? No, Jeff. That's okay. Thank you.
LeBron, in mentioning fourth quarter being winning time, you played just about every second of the fourth quarter in this series. One, given score, are you just predetermined that you're going to play all 12 minutes? And then, what is it about the fourth quarter and your performance and a sense of urgency that might be just a little different than the previous three quarters?
For me, at this point in the season, I don't care about rest. I really don't. I don't care about sleep. I don't care about resting throughout the game. And obviously I come out the game. Coach has a rhythm and a rotation that we live by and we go by. But I don't care about resting. because I can rest in a week max if it happens to go there. I can rest for a month straight, which I won't do because of who I am. You guys know that. But if I can rest then. I can sleep 8 hours and get up and eat and then go right back to sleep if I want to.
Morgan?
KCP and Markeith both talked about a text that you sent saying that this is a must-win game. What was it about today that prompted you to do that?
When I woke up from my nap this morning after our team meeting, I just felt that. I felt that vibe. I felt that pressure. I felt like for me personally, this was one of the biggest games of my career, and just wanted to relay that message to my teammates, what type of zone I was in, what type of moment it was, because I just know how great of a team that we're playing against. And after the Game 3 win, the confidence that they had, that they still have, even after tonight's loss, they're just a gritty, so damn well-coached team. But I feel like if we want to be a championship ball club, if we really want to be a championship team, then we gotta have that same grit and that same attitude. So
I had the task of guarding Jimmy Butler, and so I just tried to just be locked into him. I mean, we know that the last game, he kind of just took over, imposed his will on the game on both ends of the floor, and we just tried to give him a different look. Just tried to make him shoot over a contested hand, finish over, length at the rim, just make it tough for him. It was very easy for him, Game 3, and we just wanted to switch it up. But I just wanted to use a lot of my energy on the defensive end, just knowing that the other guys on the team were going to, make up that that absence for me on the offensive end. And guys did a good job of making shots, making plays for our team, especially late game. But defensively, I think we were just better overall. We were locked into what we were doing. We still had mistakes, but some of the mistakes we had, we just covered for each other. Mistakes are going to happen, but we seem like we played with a little bit more sense of urgency tonight.
AD, LeBron said that the reason that he texted the guys about how this was a must-win tonight was that part of it was that he felt like this is one of the biggest games of his career. What was your reaction to sort of getting that message from him, and how much did you feel sort of the importance of getting this one?
Yeah, I mean, he sent that message, and guys already knew. I mean, we felt bad after losing Game 3. We didn't play the way we were supposed to play, so guys were already on edge, coming into tonight. And then we see the message from, our leader saying it's a must-win, and he just left it at that. And guys knew coming in that we need to bring our A game. And like I said, we kind of already knew that we had to play a certain way, and that it was a must-win. I mean, we all season said we don't want to be a team that loses 2 in a row, and we have the ability to make that happen. And so we was already on edge about coming in and being ready to do whatever we had to do to get this win.
Ramona Shelburne.
Anthony, how much of you coming to Los Angeles, playing with the Lakers was the opportunity to learn from LeBron James, but also you learn from guys like Rajon Rondo and how they bring moments like tonight out of you when you hit that three?
Yeah, I mean, Bron and Dell has been, the two guys who's really been in my ear a lot throughout these playoffs. I mean, these guys have been here. Bron been here numerous times, and Doe's been here as well. And those two guys have been in my ear, just helping me through the journey. First time here, playing on a big stage in LA. Those two guys have been very helpful for me, just keeping me, in the moment, not looking too far ahead. When I'm playing bad, not getting down. Body language, being a leader, all these things. So, the credit goes to them of the success that I'm having individually, because without them, no telling where I'll be. Those two guys have been on my shoulders about almost anything you can think of trying to help me become a champion.
Else?
Jimmy went 5 for 5 in the first quarter, and then I think he went 3 for 12 from then on, and there were a lot of possessions with you on him. How much of that defensive switch was on you personally? Was it decided by the coaching staff? And what's the feeling to make an impact on what LeBron called a must-win game with your defense?
A little bit of both. I mean, we just wanted to give him a different look, honestly, and we were asking a lot out of Bron, and so I just told Bron, I mean, I'll take him. You're coming down, and we want you to run the screen and roll, get in the paint, get foul, find guys, and get back, guard Jimmy. Like, I'll take some of that, that load off of him, and I'll guard him. And if I pick up a quick foul, then you take him. And then if Markieff come in, he takes him. But I wasn't in foul trouble tonight, and I was able to stay on the most of the game. But coming in with the mindset of knowing what he just did to us game 3, very easy for him. The floor was very open. He got what he wanted, and knew me coming in, knowing that I was guarding him. I just wanted to take all that away and just make it difficult for him. And I just did that to the best of my abilities tonight.
Given the way the Heat won Game 3 and the players they were without, it sort of seemed like after that game they were willing to outwork you for that particular win. Did you feel that, and how much motivation did that sort of element, wanting to work at least as hard, if not harder than the Heat, motivated you in this game?
As a team, we never want to be outworked. We always say that if we're a team that's more physical, the hardest working team, then we really have a great chance of winning basketball games, especially with the talent that we have. So we feel like we got bullied. We feel like we got outworked. They're more scrappier than us, and we didn't like that. We saw it on film. They were doing whatever they wanted, especially Jimmy. And like I said, we didn't like it, so we wanted to come out and just be, demanding on the defensive end, demanding on the offensive end, playing with grit, diving on the floor, loose balls, talking, being scrappy. And we're able to do that tonight. If we play like that every game, especially next game, then we can become champions.
AD, I know a lot of you guys didn't play on the same team as each other last year, but a lot of the individual players on this Lakers team didn't have the best defensive numbers of their career going into this season. How did Frank Vogel emphasize defense right from the start of training camp, and why do you think so many guys were able to raise their game in the way they just hadn't the previous few years?
He got on us from day one about defense. Obviously, guys know he's a defensive-minded coach, and we know that if we want to win, you're going to have to play defense. Obviously, offense. You can look at teams. When I was in New Orleans, Alvin used to say it all the time. He used to preach defense. Because I had the best offensive team in Phoenix. We would score 130, and we would never get past the second round Western Conference Finals because we didn't play defense. So, and it's cliche. You hear it all the time. Defense wins championships. So, in order for you to win, you gotta defend, and that's what we try to do. He told us that from day one that we're going to be a defensive-minded team because that leads to fast break points. When we want to run, we want to get stops and run, and the only way you can run is if you get stopped. So guys just kind of bought into it. We trust them. We trust each other. We can trust each other on rotations. The guys are talking, and that's why we get so upset when we have defensive breakdowns. Not more so offensively, but defensively because we know what we're capable of doing. And guys take pride in their defense. We work on defense every day in practice. We're for sure going to do defense because guys want to be better at it, and we know it's going to help us get to our goal.
All right, last 3 questions. Will?
All right, thank you. Mark Medina.
Anthony, there were a few plays where you took some hits to your eye, the fall. How are you holding up from those, and what was the key in playing through those things?
I mean, I'm not going to come out the game. I'm fine. It's happened. It's basketball plays. You know, it's the finals. You know, the games are physical. Plays happen where guys get hit. You know, but you gotta be willing to leave it all on the floor. You know, JaVale told us before the game, we should come back into the locker room exhausted. Leave it all on the floor. So, it was some, just random plays that happened, get hit in the eye, and then get hit in the leg by AC. But just gotta shake it off and fight through it. We got 2 days off, to get back healthy and get ready for Game 5.
Melissa?
Hey, D, is it common for LeBron to send texts about games, calling them must-wins, or is that the first time he's ever done that this season?
I think that might be the first time for sure here in the bubble. Usually when we play bad, he'll send texts or I'll send texts and just, tell guys we're fine. We'll be okay, things like that. But we usually, talk more so in person after the game, before a game, or in a meeting or something like that. So, he's done it before, but, like you said, he woke up early, just in his room, with the game on his mind that we have to win this game, and, decided to send a text, said it's a must-win game. And I think after that he said, that's all I need to say. So, guys came in prepared already, but it's more so, in person or in a meeting or, something like that. It's usually not over text.
All right, last one for you, David.
AD, obviously you guys are one win away from the championship. How do you think the next 2 days are going to be like for you?
We're going to watch film. We got some guys who got banged up tonight. They're going to get healthy. A couple of days off to get back right for Game 5. Tomorrow watch film. Thursday watch film. Go over some things on the court, and they're going to make adjustments. We got to be prepared for it. We're going to make adjustments, and so it's going to be a big 2 days for us to come out Game 5 and hopefully finish it off.